I was born in a poor neighborhood on the outskirts of Raqqa. My family's house was the material result of the years my father spent working outside the country as a trucker. He built its 3 rooms himself with money earned by hauling loads from the port of Aqaba in Jordan through Rutba, a town the British built as a rest stop in the unfriendly deserts of Iraq's Anbar province, and down the highway to Ramadi. The war between Iraq and Iran created chaos outside his windshield, highway gangs and other criminal opportunists, but he drove on anyway to deposit his cargo in Baghdad. His 3rd truck accident left him buried in wreckage at the bottom of a Jordanian valley. He came back home with a broken spine. In the 1990s, after his recovery, he worked as a driver for one of the Army's half-military, half-civil construction companies, Al-Iskan Al-Askari, whose main business was taking decades-long contracts and making billions of Syrian pounds disappear. At Al-Iskan Al-Askari's headquarters in Raqqa, my fasting father fought with his boss because my father refused to bring his boss's visitors lunch during Ramadan. Only a phone call from a well-connected friend saved him from being falsely reported as a Muslim Brotherhood member. He quit the job soon afterward and began growing vegetables in his backyard. My mother learned to sew traditional dresses from her mother-in-law. As a youngster, I apprenticed both professions. My 4 sisters and my brother and I slept in the same room and lived under my father's rigid routine of work, study, and prayer. TV, friends, play, all banned. When other students talked about their adventures in amusement parks, I was silent. I nodded when they asked if I knew what had happened in the latest episode of the Viking cartoons, though they soon discovered and mercilessly mocked my lies. If my father found out I'd been beaten in school, he took his turn beating me when I got home. My father hadn't worked since the age of 10, so his sons could turn into bullied, idle wastrels. He wanted better for us, even if this meant imprisoning us in our home. Na'el, whose family lived 2 blocks away from mine, had an even rougher childhood, though its roughness was more a product of parental neglect than of parental domination. Na'el's father worked for the water filtration station on the Euphrates and had married 2 wives. His wages weren't enough for both families, and he fought with whichever wife he was with. His cries echoed so loudly that the whole neighborhood knew the intimate details of each of his nightly rants. I met Na'el in elementary school. Our long acquaintance has erased all memories of his child's face. I try to recall it now, but instead I see him as a miniature version of the man he was at 24, all sharp cheekbones and messed up hair and edgy, restless skinniness. He cracked jokes and sought mischief even then. He was smart as sin, filled with a confidence I did not have, born of a freedom for which I would have paid any price. In accordance with the Council of Religious Texts, my father was a regular napper, which provided me with chances to sneak over to Na'el's after school. We played Monopoly and checkers, and on the rare occasions his black-and-white TV was not broken, we watched Captain Majid, a dubbed Japanese cartoon, the ultimate treat. During the shifts his father spent with his other wife, Na'el and I played soccer with a stuffed plastic bag. In summer, he made a pool out of the pothole in the concrete in his backyard, and we slid into the shallow water. I measured the hours carefully, for if I came back home to find my father's nap shorter than expected, I would regret it, and so would Na'el. Children are fearless in finding their joy. Each Eid, when the adults were happy and busy with their interminable family visits, we leaped through this perfect window for our recalcitrance. One Eid, we went out to search for a movie theater, but finding those we knew closed or deserted, we instead drifted to the Rauda Mosque to watch the noon prayers from the doorway. After the prayer ended, We watched as the worshippers closed the yellow curtains, then blocked any remaining light with prayer rugs. They had all sat down together in a big circle when a few of the worshippers saw us gawking from the doorway, and one of them commanded us to join. We hesitantly entered the circle and sat down among them. Sacks filled with pebbles appeared, which the imam ordered distributed to the worshippers. He began to chant in the Naqshbandi Sufi fashion, each praise of God uttered to a haunting rhythm, echoed by the rest of us, who, with each repetition, passed a smooth pebble from our right hand to our left, then discarded it on the floor. I watched with fear as the used pebbles piled up, unsure of what would happen when the last pebble dropped. The men, their individuality now subsumed into the chant, rose at the imam's command and swayed in unison to the beat. The rhythm grew faster. The men began to jump and scream. From some unseen corner, two zealots brought out swords. When they started to dance manically, my belly sank. My eyes sought Nail's. His face, dry with fright, was a perfect mirror of my own. We fled as stealthily as possible.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.